Imagine witnessing a political landscape where even the most prominent initiatives face mounting skepticism, something many experts find astonishing in today's climate. And this is precisely what's happening with President Donald Trump's current approval ratings and the public's perception of his significant policies. But here's where it gets controversial. Despite all the attention on his bold moves, like imposing tariffs or pushing the massive tax and spending legislation dubbed the One Big Beautiful Bill, most Americans are actually more disapproving than approving. This shift in opinion is more than a blip. It signals that public support is waning as his second term unfolds. To understand these dynamics, Pew Research Center carried out an extensive survey involving 3,554 adults between August 4th and 10th, 2025. Participants were recruited through a method designed to give nearly every adult in the U.S. a fair shot at being included, using a national, random sampling of residential addresses. They responded either online or by phone with a live interviewer, ensuring that the data collected is both comprehensive and representative. The survey results are carefully weighted to reflect the overall U.S. population by factors like gender, race, ethnicity, political allegiance, education, and voting history. So what does the latest data reveal? 6 months into his second term, President Trump's job approval has dipped to 38%, with a significant 60% of respondents disapproving of his performance. Fewer Americans now believe he possesses qualities they previously associated with leadership, such as empathy, sharpness of mind, or the ability to serve as a positive role model. Interestingly, 2 of his administration's headline achievements, the tariffs and the sizable tax reform, receive more criticism than praise. A striking 61% of Americans disapprove of his tariff policies, with only 38% approving. When it comes to the so-called One Big Beautiful Bill, 46% disapprove against 32% who support it, and a notable 23% are unsure. Biases along party lines are evident. Republicans generally support these initiatives, while Democrats oppose them, but the disapproval among Democrats far exceeds the approval among Republicans, underscoring the deep partisan divide. Delving deeper, Pew's survey also uncovers that a majority, over half, believe Trump is making the federal government less effective, with only about a quarter seeing him as an agent of improvement. Interestingly, Republicans and Democrats alike have become more critical compared to early days after Trump's inauguration. Expectations have shifted from hope of positive change to greater skepticism. Looking at individual perceptions, approval among Trump's core supporters, those voting for him in 2024, remains high at 85%, though it's slightly down from earlier in his presidency. Among the broader pool of registered voters who didn't vote in November, just 32% now approve, a decrease from previous months. As for personal traits, fewer Americans now see Trump as genuinely caring about everyday people or as a good role model compared to a year ago. Fewer also consider him mentally sharp, but one trait remains widely acknowledged: his steadfastness in standing up for his beliefs. An impressive 68% still say he is committed to his principles. Most Americans express mixed confidence in Trump's handling of global issues. While nearly half feel somewhat confident in his ability to negotiate trade deals and manage immigration, fewer trust his judgment on foreign policy or healthcare. Specifically, confidence in his decision-making regarding the ongoing war between Ukraine and Russia has slipped from 45% to 40% since last July, showing a notable decline, especially among Republicans, from 81% to 73%. Interestingly, only around 1 in 10 Democrats support the idea that Trump can handle this international conflict effectively. The survey also highlights widespread distrust surrounding the Trump administration's handling of information related to Jeffrey Epstein's investigation. 7 out of 10 Americans disapprove of how this is managed, including a majority of Republicans and nearly all Democrats, who express overwhelming disapproval. Trust in the administration's statements on this matter remains very low. Only about a quarter of Republicans and even fewer Democrats say they believe what they're hearing. All these insights point to a political climate where support for Trump's policies and leadership qualities continues to decline, raising questions about the future trajectory of his influence and the wider ideological debates around his approach. Do these shifts indicate a turning point in public opinion? Or are they part of a temporary trend? And what might it say about the evolving political landscape? Are voters truly disconnecting from the promises of bold leadership? Or are they demanding fundamentally different priorities? Your thoughts are welcome. What do you believe explains these changing perceptions? And where do you see this heading next?